Order August 21st, 2025 Planning Commission meeting this evening, and please stand for the invocation by Dylan Douglas and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Lester.
Dear Lord, thank you for granting founders that are serving. Pray country conflict targeted by pray for guidance national level as well.
Flag, United States. Republic for one nation.
Okay, we do have a quorum this evening. We do have a new member. I say new member, but a member on our planning and zoning. Mr. Russell Wilder has taken District 2, has been appointed. Welcome. Bring a lot of knowledge to the commission. Nominations are now in order for the office of Vice Chair of the Columbia County Planning Commission. Do I have any nominations?
Chairman, I nominate Commissioner Holloway for the office of Vice Chairman, Vice Chairperson.
Do I have a second? I have a nomination and a second. Are there any more nominations for Vice Chair? If there are no other nominations for Vice Chair, I move to close the nominations. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor of closing nominations, raise your right hand. Nominations are closed. All in favor of Commissioner Holloway as Vice Chairman, please raise your right hand. Motion carries. Congratulations there.
Nice.
Way. Okay. I need to get approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, August 7th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting from August 7th.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. One abstention. I need to get approval of the agenda for this evening.
Chairman, I make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to clarify that the Planning Commission is a recommending body of the Columbia County Board of Commissioners. Decisions made on rezoning and variance requests tonight will be forwarded to the Commissioners for final action August 21st, 2025. That's incorrect. September 2nd, 2025. Sorry. If you wish to address the Board of Commissioners at their meeting, please see Ms. Mixon to obtain a request to speak form. Any request with a public hearing will have a minimum of 10 minutes permitted per side for the presentations of opinions, data, and evidence by proponents or opponents of a request. The applicant will be allowed to speak first, and any member of the public may speak after. Either side may cede their time during the hearing if they so desire. And now it's time for the debate agenda. New business. We have a massage operator's license. Mr. Will?
Under Sheriff's request for massage operator's license by Robert Holloway, doing business as Better Body Massage. They're providing on-site and mobile massage services at 4408 Columbia Road, Suite 106. They meet all requirements of the ordinance. Staff recommends approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Do we have any comments? Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approved, or that we recommend accept the massage operator's license for Robert Holloway, DBA Better Body Massage.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Public hearing part of the agenda tonight. We have I-1B1 VA 25-0803, variance to section 90-144. Dylan?
Yes, sir. As you said, this is a application for a variance to reduce side and rear setbacks for an existing shed at 725 Harrington Drive. This shows the location of the parcel north of William Few Parkway, slightly west of its intersection with Chamberlain Drive. This shows the zoning of the parcel. It is zoned R2, however, it's also in the residential cluster overlay district. So the setback in the zoning district is reduced to 5 feet. This is a plat for the parcel. As you can see, it's lot 34 on this plat. There is a in-ground stormwater utility line along the plan easternmost lot line here with an easement on either side of that line. Part of the issue with this shed is that it stands within that easement, and so an easement encroachment agreement will be required for this shed should it receive approval from you guys to move forward to see and be allowed to remain in its location within that easement. This is the existing site, and this is an aerial photo of the property. We'll see a site survey in a second, but as you can see, there's a concrete slab in the backyard in this photo. That is the location of the shed in question in this case. And here is the site survey. So again, in this zoning district, kind of twofold, this shed has 5-foot setbacks, and this survey shows that it is built less than 4 feet from the side lot line and less than 5 feet from the rear lot line. When the property owner applied for his building permit back in June, he submitted plans that showed that this shed would be constructed 6 feet from both lot lines in compliance with county code. However, as a part of the easement encroachment agreement that I previously mentioned that needed to be submitted, which has been submitted, we received this site survey that showed that the property owner, had committed an error and built this shed closer to these two lot lines than he intended and also than the code allows, resulting in the requirement for this variance application to allow the shed to remain in its current location. When we review these kinds of applications, typically things we're looking at are generally adverse impact on neighboring properties. In this case, as we've already mentioned, this shed does stand within a stormwater easement already anyway. Our stormwater department reviewed it with a little bit of extra interest and care and still only submitted a condition that an easement encroachment would be required. No additional adverse impact was anticipated by that department when they did review. And other typical things that we see with structures that are within 5 feet of shared lot lines with other residential properties are things regarding building or fire safety. In this case, our building standards department submitted a condition requiring that this structure remain, that this structure can't be expanded. Given that it's already within the setback, they just want to require that encroachment into the setbacks is not, again, expanded upon in any way. And that was the only condition they submitted. They didn't submit anything related to fire safety or building separation. As you can see on this site survey, the structure that the shed is closest to is the residence on this property. The residence on the adjacent property is also up close to the road in a similar distance and a large distance away from this shed in the first place anyway. There's presumably no safety concerns with that. Again, building standards submitted that condition that this shed can't be expanded in its current location, and should it be destroyed, that it would need to be reconstructed in a location compliant with those 5-foot setbacks. We also proposed a condition that clarified that this exception to these 5-foot setbacks also only applies to the existing shed. So any other structures on the property in the future will still need to comply with those 5-foot setbacks. Provided that these conditions are met, staff is comfortable with approving this request. Beyond that, the neighborhood HOA also submitted a letter of support, effectively communicating the exact same point of view. The situation probably generally was pretty avoidable, but maybe a bit heavy-handed to ask that they relocate both the concrete slab, now nearly or completed shed.
Okay, that's it. Thank you, Dylan. Would the owner, Mika, or Boswell, Wimbush, or applicant Berkey Ayers would like to come forward and add anything? State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Berkey Air. I run Berkey Air P in Augusta, Georgia, 305 Broad Street. I did the survey personally, so we found the encroachment was there, and Mr. Winwood took the proper steps to see if he could get it relieved with the homeowners association and all, and have nothing to add except I would say that the side setback would have to be 10 feet off the center line of the sewer, not 5. It would be encroached into the easement too. I don't know, is that what you're gonna allow us to do, put an easement?
So again, the setback is different than the easement. The easement is 10 feet wide on this side of the lot line, but per code, the setback is only 5 feet. If this were constructed at the 6 feet that it was originally planned, they would only need the easement encroachment agreement and not have to go through this variance process.
Basically the building is there, and it's a concrete slab on grade, frame construction. When you design today, you have to stay 10 feet off the center line of the storm sewer or water. This one, if they allow 6, we'll certainly live with that.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Do I
you.
have any questions? Okay. Any other member of the audience who would like to speak in favor or against? I see none. Can I get a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to recommend approval with conditions of file VA 250803, variance to reduce the side and rear building setbacks for an existing shed at 725 Harrington Drive.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. I-1B2, VA 25-0804, variance to section 90-53. Danielle?
Yes, sir. This is a request for a variance to reduce the side setbacks at 1007 Emerald Place. It shows the location of the property in Jones Creek off Southern Pines Drive, and it is currently zoned R2 single-family residential, as are all the surrounding properties. This shows the existing site. You can see the existing house and pool. Also of note is it's a somewhat unusually shaped lot. It's essentially a pizza slice. It comes literally to a point in the rear. So that is not typical for a residential lot, and it does kind of restrict their buildable area in the backyard. This shows the existing site. And the plan here is to build a new pool house, and the structure is 530 square feet. It includes some storage space, half bath, and then a covered seating area and outdoor kitchen. Essentially, the intent of this, the applicants have submitted, is that they lost quite a few trees with the hurricane, and they are trying to replace some of the shade and privacy that those trees provided with this structure. Since this property is R2, typically it should have 10-foot side setbacks. As you can see at the closest point, the structure is 5.5 feet off the property lines. That does keep it out of the 5-foot drainage and utility easements, but it is within the 10-foot setbacks. Now, the applicants have submitted agreement from both of the immediately adjacent neighbors as well as from the HOA for the proposed structure in this location. And with that being the case, and with the unique shape of the lot and the fact that they're out of those drainage easements, staff is recommending approval.
Thank you, Danielle. Would the owner, Fane or Heather Dye, or applicant of Legacy Homes of Georgia LLC would like to come forward and speak on behalf to add anything? State your name and address for the record, please.
Steve Castle with 25 Plantation Hills Drive. I'm a friend of the applicant. They just asked me to sit in and look at the application. Based on the conditions, I spoke to them about that. They're willing to meet whatever conditions y'all have. I want to add that they have to invite me to any party they have. I didn't even know they had a pool until the other day. So now they got a pool house with a kitchen. So, but that's all right. No, good. They're good folks. They just want to make sure that they're doing it right.
Okay. Thank you. We have any questions? Thank you. Any other member of the audience would like to speak in favor or against? See that we have none. Can I get a motion?
Chairman, I make a motion to recommend approval of file VA 25-08-04, variance to reduce the side setbacks at 1007 Emerald Place.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Legal matters, I do not see Mr. Attorney Driver here tonight. Do we have any more staff or commissioner comments to make this evening? I see none. Any more public comments or participation? See that we have none. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
Adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. We are adjourned.